Okay, so once again, we're just going to make sure we have Mark here. Boom, Mark's Farm, vendor Mark. Okay, I'm going to click this little link right here that says Create PO. This is right at the exact same spot we were. The only thing we did different is we went and set up a fuel thing that already existed. I'm going to say live. This is one that I would highly recommend you read this help file. There are probably 5 or 6 different PO types, and they do different things. It's literally the functionality of it. For this demo, I'm going to go ahead and just click in here and say live. Okay, we're going to come down here, and we are saying setting up the fuel. Okay, I don't know how much this is going to be. It's probably actually going to be 0, just because I don't even know. I just need these items just to kind of start the process. And I'm
now,
just going to
remind me what you called this PO. You
Okay.
called it a what?
So
yesterday we talked about a setup PO.
Okay, correct. So if you want, I will even just go like this.
That's good. I'm just trying to visualize how I would explain this to someone.
Okay,
so
basically, we're
really
midstream. We're midstream, okay? And say
we're just
we're
trying to come on board because we're in process.
so if I wanted to sell gas right this second without doing any POs, I could do it just like we were doing yesterday. I would use special line items, part number other, and say gas, 15 gallons. Here's my price.
But we're getting it
Boom.
set up for ease of use because the flow's already existing in the organization.
Correct. Once you know what you have, ideally, if you had to type every single time, that gets like long and tedious, okay? So what we're doing is we're like, you know what, this is something I'm going to use over and over and over again. Let's stick it into my virtual inventory section. Even though it's a service or an item or something, I'm going to be able to hold cost, prices, vendors, descriptions, tax categories, units of measurement. I'm going to hold all of that. I'm pre-programming it. So like you said, you're virtually setting up the system.
Okay, but that term setup PO makes sense to me. That is the
Correct.
term you use.
And basically what we're doing is we're just using a standard, what we call a basic live PO.
Okay.
And we are basically going to be pulling it in. This is the only way that we can get this right here, okay? We need a new canister for gas, propane, natural gas, and diesel, okay? In order to do that, we have to set up the incoming piece so that we can actually have these two, gas, propane, natural gas, and diesel, okay? Incoming all through one PO, and then outgoing will sell, okay?
Thank you.
Depending on what's going on. Perfect. Okay, so all we did is we searched for Mark, we said create new PO, we're starting to come down through it, and we are about at this section. I said, I'm going to set it as 0, I'm going to call it just a setup, and I'm going to say yes, these are physically in my possession, okay? If I don't, it just gives me a PO number versus an actual ability to add it. I'm going to click OK. So at this point, I have PO number 15. It's tied to Mark's Farm, which is a vendor, so I'm starting to create a relationship, okay? And so now what I have is I have 0 line items. It says currently 0, absolutely nothing here. There are search forms at the top and at the bottom. They do the exact same thing. And so mine's just ready right here, and I know that I was going to be adding an item, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Just for reference, I'm going to come back here. My first item is going to be called just gas, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and type that in, gas.
But really, even though you're saying an item, what the terminology is on Adilas is CW parts.
Okay, correct. We can change that, okay? So the reason it says CW parts is because corp-wide setting, it's ran through a virtual parts department, but we'll let you call it products, widgets, supplies, you know, whatever you need to do, okay? That is correct. So this is quick, add an item by searching, okay? So if it existed and I searched, it'll find it and say, hey, was this what you were looking for? Oh, yeah. But it doesn't exist. So watch, as soon as I hit search, it's basically going to kind of come back to me and say, I don't have that, okay? Yes, Mark, go ahead.
If you've created that, why can't I bring it up online?
It's not created.
You can. Pull up PO15. Pull up PO15. You can go in to PO15 right now.
So PO there.
And it won't have anything on it.
And I mean, you could be, but that's what I did yesterday. I was following along and I overwrote some things.
No. It's great. It's great, Madeline. That's
Well, but
perfect
he's-
though.
He owns it, not me, so.
Well, guess what?
But we're
We're
in the same
playing in
line.
that cloud industry, okay, where we have centralized data and multiple users, okay, without the
Well,
IT
play along
pieces.
with them, you have to put a mark star or two or something.
Yeah, this is just a demo, and then you guys are going to actually go and do the same process, okay? So I know it's kind of been long and drawn out. Just to
No.
recap, we basically said this. We said, search by Mark's Farm, create the new PO. We assigned all the pieces and said, yes, create it. At this point, we landed on this page. We haven't gone any further than that. At this point, I know my first item was going to be called gas. So now I'm going to say search. It gives me an error message, but it's a good one that says, hey, I can't find gas for Mark's Farm. Awesome. We're going to add it. So this is a side trip. This is basically virtually setting up the tube so that it'll now know how to flow through that tube. Okay? So this little side step is creating the tube. I come in here. I'm still going to call it gas. We are going to monitor quantities in and out. The category, this is important. We already set this up. We're going to look for fuel. We did some prep. Okay? If you didn't and you're like, oh man, I really needed to do this, you would probably need to go here and jump out there,
And make the
add it,
category.
and then come back. Or assign it to something simple, finish the process, and then go edit the item. Either way, it has to be set up at some point or the other. Okay? It doesn't matter how it gets there. Eventually, you just need to feed it into the right spot. Okay? So this next thing, this is basic gasoline. Okay? This is sold by the gallon. Reference number, I'm going to leave that alone. That's a secondary lookup if you wanted to. Like some vendors will have their part number and then say like an older one or an outdated part number, like something superseded something, but you still might know, like once you get used to it, you're like, oh, that's 557, you know, like, but 557 has been replaced by, this is a great spot to put this, or something else that you needed to search by, like if you're trying to do subcategories of categories and stuff, this is a great little spot to, it's very searchable. Okay, cost, do we know our cost? Or are we just going to put it in as whatever right now?
Well, let's put a cost in as if we know it.
Okay, so this is a per gallon. What is
We're bringing it in wholesale. Who has a clue?
I don't know, 265.
265? Okay, great. When we're selling this, are we selling it at a markup or are we actually selling it at a fixed price?
We're selling it at 289.
289? Okay. So I'm going to make sure that this little piece right here says use sale price. The difference is this, okay? Do you want it calculated on the fly by a markup, which will then take cost times a markup to give you a value, or do you want it a specific, every single time I always want it 289 even if this cost goes up or down? Does that make sense?
And most people use markups because they can't control.
Well, it depends.
I
It's
don't
a
know,
markup plus-
that's true. It's
So here's what happens. Some people are like, you know what, we do a 1.87 or a 2.51 markup, like whatever their markup value is.
right.
Well, guess what? Some people don't like it because it'll end up getting this price of $15.53.
Right.
So somebody picks it up, 53 cents, what? They're like, you know what, I really want to control that. Let's make it $14.95.
Okay, that makes sense.
So then they say sale price only, $14.95, even if I'm
But then
losing
they
it.
have to change it every time.
But they edit this when new product comes in. I mean, they
Yeah,
make
yeah,
decisions
and
just-
we have bulk update tools that you can actually update this
Okay.
stuff on the fly. So
that's
piece of
Something
cake.
like fuel, when it goes up from 265 to 270,
that would be a bulk.
That's
then
called.
I just want to
Yep.
up
Piece of cake.
that like that
You
again.
just you up the price. Price is variable, okay? So if I give you a discount, guess what we're playing with? Price.
Yeah.
Okay, I
But
can't, I
you've
can't
got a
change the
bulk
cost.
update issue that will handle.
Oh, yeah.
that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And usually, say you had fuel, you're not going to be like, wow, I have to update 50 million different kinds of fuel. You have like 4 items. It's a piece of cake. You can flip some stuff. So
Okay.
very, very easy. Okay, we're going to say 289 is our sale price. Now our unit of measurement. Let's see if we have gallon in here. Gallon. If you have the admin permissions, you can actually add your own. So say you wanted a gaggle or a gahoogle or whatever. Like you can create your own. It sounds like what is it? Dr. Seuss, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so taxable. No, is this resale to farmers or are we actually?
Farmers,
are we-
but it would probably have to be taxable.
Okay, great. So we need to make that decision, because if we don't, there's lots of different ways that we could do. Let's just, for fun, let's call it farm use, okay? Actually, if we're upping the price, we probably do need to collect tax. So,
I'm making it tax exempt.
okay. So let's go ahead and just call it farm use, okay? So basically what that's going to do is it's going to roll it through with 0, but it's going to kind of lightly categorize that particular item as farm use, okay? We're going to skip all this weight, barcode, all this kind of stuff, and say add the item. So as soon as I hit this add the item, I'm virtually going to create the tube, and it's going to reroute me back to the PO saying what's next, okay? Here we go, ready? Click. We're back at PO 15. It's tied to Mark's Farm. I have one item in there now called gas.
So now we're ready to go to propane. And
Correct.
those other
So piece of
things.
cake. So the next one that we do is, let's do propane. I'm just going to see what I have under Pro. I have nothing, which is, we knew that. Click it. Propane. We are going to monitor it. We're going to assign it to fuel. And what's the cost on this, Mark?
$2.49 a gallon.
$2.49. And how much are we selling it for?
$2.89 a gallon.
$2.89 again? Okay, great. We're going to use sale price only. We're going to flip this to gallons. We're going to say farm use on the tax. We're going to scroll down and say add it. We just added a second tube, okay? Second tube, it's tied to a PO. We're good to go. Okay, the next one that we're doing is
Do natural gas.
do natural, okay? Now, I put a little underscore in there because this is going to be physically the part name. I'll change the description. I'll make the description longer, but the actual part name, I try not to use any special characters because sometimes that's actually like a key field for that particular item. So you try not to use specials on part numbers. Natural gas, nope, I don't have it. Let's add it. So you tell me what to do. What's the first thing I need to click on, Mark?
Okay, so part type.
Okay, the type,
Well,
correct?
that's the default.
So do we want unlimited or physical?
It's gotta be physical.
This will be physical. Okay.
The categories are going to be fuel.
Fuel, correct? Okay, what do we want to put in here?
Natural gas.
5 gallon. Do they sell?
No,
How do they
it's
sell?
cubic feet per minute. It's a flow rate on, that's why it shows it, by the way.
Cubic.
So cubic feet per minute, CFM.
CFM?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So can you see the difference between the number and the description?
Yeah.
Okay, the part number is going to be used to search, constant, 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 okay? The description, I can get it clear out as far as I want it, basically,
That's
okay?
and for your information.
For your information, or a friendly thing. Instead of seeing 557, it actually says, hey, this is a U-bolt connector, or whatever, rather than
So
557.
yesterday when I was setting up those service things and it would say community and I went in and said volunteer, that would all be okay? Because
That's
I'm thinking
perfect.
that's
That's
my
perfect.
preference.
What that does is eventually, whatever you put your description here, it'll help put it on the PO. It'll help put it on the invoices when it goes out the door. So instead of you having to type in community service, we're doing this and this and this, you preloaded it. That's what you're doing in this type, in this part of the environment. Okay. So we'll just kind of put this by the CFM. Okay. And cost. What's the cost per?
So I actually picked one. I have no idea.
Okay. Let's
I
make
only
it.
know that it's sold CFM, but it's like per cylinder.
It doesn't matter. Make
Okay.
it twice.
So
Yes.
So right there, you would have to say, are we getting it in a big giant container, or we actually have cylinders of this thing? Because it makes a difference how you're going to sell it. Okay, and that comes back to consulting and like, okay, what do you really do? Let's pretend that we can put natural gas into a giant container just for our example. Okay, and we're going to say something similar. Let's go 250. Let's say that this is less than, or I guess the other one
it's
is
vitamin less.
Yeah, that's
It's-
probably
it's like a
less
dollar-
than a dollar,
$1.50 or
less.
something.
okay. So we'll go 0.89. Okay.
Otherwise, we couldn't afford our homes.
The sale price. Let's say that it's a straight up $1.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't know, that could totally be things that are interesting. By the way, as you interact with these fields, this little price helper will help you know where you're at. You're currently only going to be making 11% on that, which is a 1.12 markup. Okay, and the markup does not does not coordinate with the margin, the profit margin. Okay, they are completely different. If you do a 1.25 markup, you're actually only making 20%, even though it's a 1.25, because you have to figure back in the cost.
Right.
It's actually the formula for it. So, if you have questions, click on this little profit calculator. There's tons of information there, and it explains all the formulas and has examples and all kinds of stuff. Okay, so this right here, we wanted to do this for, what was it, per what?
CFM.
Okay, so I don't see it right now, so I'm going to go like this, each. I could do it right here in line, but I'm going to probably just come back and fix it.
Right.
That's how I'm going to choose to do it. And we're going to say that this one is farm use as well for the tax category. So once again, we know we have a problem that's going to exist. We're going to come back and fix that. I'm going to say add that. So now I have 3 items, gas, propane, natural gas. Watch this. I'm going to leave PO15. I don't even care. Or I can open up a new window if I wanted to. And I could be like, sweet. That way I don't even have to come back. What if I do this? Right-click, open a new window. So now I technically have multiple windows open. I'm going to go add a category, okay? Parts and general inventory homepage, units of measurement. I'm going to look down and make sure it's not there. And I'm going to say, what was that, CFM?
CFM. It's lowercase, by the way.
That doesn't matter.
Okay.
CFM, and this is the description. This is cubic
Per minute.
feet per minute, okay? And I'm going to add the measurement type. Now you'll notice when I added it, this is a custom one. You can see how these other ones are just standard ones that we include. But all of a sudden, if your corporation has a custom one, you get a little bit of flavor to play with, okay? So what I'm going to do right here is technically I'm done with my little side step. I'm just going to go like this. Close that window. I'm right back at PO15, okay?
And then you could go.
Now I'm just going to scroll down right here to natural gas, and I'm going to get in a little deeper. I could either click here or here to get into natural gas, and I'm going to flip that category to cubic feet per minute.
There we go.
Okay? So then I'm going to say edit that, which basically just edited it. I'm going to actually come back here to my back button and get back to the PO line items. Boom.
What
I'm-
did you
I'm back.
right-click to get a new window?
A link, okay? So what I did is this is a browser,
Okay.
a thing that you can do in the browser. So if I normal click this, it's going to take me to the home page.
Right.
If I right click it, it gives me an option. And then because it's a link and I say open
That's a browser
this,
thing. I just never use
open
it.
this in a new window, it basically already knows where I'm headed with it, okay? So I often will say open a new home page in a window because that's a great starting spot, okay? Click. So if you look down here at the bottom, I technically have 2 windows, okay? And you may not even be able to see my page, but there are 2 windows. Watch, I'll switch between them. I'm on PO line items. I'm on interactive map homepage, okay? You can have multiple windows, and it really gets fun when you have multiple monitors open. You got banks on one side, and you're checking, like, the whole thing. It doesn't matter, okay?
No, I see that. I mean, that's something that people would like.
Oh, it's awesome. I have dual monitors every single time I do it. It's not required at all. Like, you could run this thing off your phone, but like if you want to and you want to spread out and you have big old monitors, you can get some real estate, get some pieces playing. So, okay, I'm just going to close this extra window because I don't need it. I'm back at PO15. Do you want me to do one more, or is that good enough for the demo?
That's good.
Okay. So once again, we're going to recap what we did. Start here at the top. We picked an industry. We're going to set up at least 5 items. I cheated. I only did 3. Okay. We did a midstream. It doesn't have to be. You could do a brand new startup if you wanted to. It could be product, service, or generics. It's going to virtually run through your parts department. What vendor, what categories, what items. So these are prep steps. The vendor and the category are somewhat prep steps of getting those tubes before you actually get to the tube level. This is actually to that tube or can level. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, and for our example, what we did was we did farming. We're assuming a giant farm that will be selling to other farmers, just for the gas analogy, kind of like an airport, like somebody comes in, gets it, leaves. Like we're selling it. We created a vendor. We ended up calling ours Mark's Farm. We created a category from the parks department. We had to have the admin permission, we called it fuel, and then we created 3 of these. We did gas, propane, and natural gas. And natural gas had a little funky thing. We had to add a custom unit of measurement, okay?